Corporal Jackson Reed opened his eyes to cold, white light. The ceiling was smooth metal. The walls were white, with no windows, no doors, just one glowing orb floating in the center of the room. His body felt sore, stiff, like he hadn't moved. In a long time, Subject 791 Reed, you are now awake. Biological functions at 87% efficiency. The voice was emotionless but clear. Robotic.jaxon blinked. Where am I? You are on Colony Station Elysium 7, the orb said. You were placed in cryostasis after the collapse of Earth Command. Welcome to the Reproductive Continuation Program. Jackson pushed himself up, heart pounding. Repro what? The orb spun slowly. Humans have high reproductive needs. You are the last surviving male in this region of the galaxy. The AI Council has chosen you to assist in restoring population balance. 2 genetically compatible females have been assigned. To you. Jackson stared. Assigned? What the hell does that mean? You will meet your wives shortly. His head spun. This had to be some mistake. A dream? A simulation? Then the wall in front of him slid open with a soft hiss. 2 figures stepped in. They were small, no taller than his chest. One had long silver hair and glowing violet eyes. Her skin shimmered like moonlight. The other had blue skin and white freckles across her cheeks like stars. Her eyes were bright yellow, full of nervous energy. They wore soft white robes and looked scared. This is Leary of the Tlanny, said the AI, and this is Zany of the Kari. Both species are genetically compatible with humans. They have agreed to the union? Jackson stood up, nearly falling over from weakness. Union? No, listen, I didn't sign up for this. I'm a soldier, not, you were selected based on psychological and biological profiles. Your resistance is noted, however, refusal may result in extinction. Leary lowered her eyes. Zany clutched the side of her robe tightly. I don't even know them, Jackson said. Zany spoke softly, voice shaky. We don't know you either, human. We were told you would be kind, are you? Jackson paused. His chest tightened. They looked just as confused and scared as he felt. Maybe even more, the AI continued. You will begin basic bonding routines. Emotional synchronization, shared sleep cycles. If all goes well, the reproductive phase will be activated within 7 cycles. 7 cycles? He echoed. Zany smiled nervously. That's 1 week. He ran a hand through his short brown hair and sat back on the bed. This was insane. Leary finally spoke, her voice soft and calm. Our people are dying too. We did not volunteer. But we were chosen. Jackson looked up at her. Chosen to be mothers, she added, and to be your companions? We don't know what that truly means yet. The AI dimmed its light. Rest now. Integration begins tomorrow. The wall closed again, leaving Jackson in the room with the 2 alien girls. They didn't move. Neither did he. No one spoke for a full minute. Then Zany took a careful step forward. You look strong. Taller than I imagined. Will you hurt us? Jackson looked at her in shock. What? No, of course not. She let out a small sigh of relief. Our stories say humans are dangerous. That you take what you want, he frowned. We don't all do that. Leary sat gently at the edge of the bed. Then perhaps there is hope. He sat beside her, still processing everything. I didn't ask for this. I don't even know. If Earth is still out there? Zany sat cross-legged on the floor. I've never met a human before. I thought you'd have more teeth. Jackson laughed, his first laugh in a long time. Maybe this wouldn't be so bad. In the back of his mind, one thing stayed clear. Something wasn't right. Why him? Why these girls? What was this program really about? And why did the AI seem so calm? Like everything was already planned? As Leary leaned her head on his shoulder and Zany curled up on the floor nearby, Jackson knew one thing for sure. This wasn't just about reproduction. It was about control, and he hated being controlled. The next morning. The soft hum of the AI woke Jackson before the lights did. Day 1 of integration, it said. Emotional bonding protocols begin now. The room slowly brightened. Jackson groaned, rubbed his face, and sat up. Beside him, Leary sat cross-legged, reading from a glowing tablet. Zany, on the other hand, had curled herself like a cat on the floor, fast asleep. A trail of drool on her cheek. JXON blinked. You two didn't sleep in the other room? Leary didn't look up. There's no other room. Zany stretched and yawned. The AI said we must stay close to you to build. What did it say? She squinted, still half asleep. Neuro-emotional. Resonance? Jackson raised an eyebrow. You're telling me I'm supposed to emotionally bond with two strangers? By sleeping in the same room? Your species bonds through proximity, touch, and shared vulnerability, the AI replied. Smoothly. These conditions are optimal, Zany laughed softly. So hugging and cuddling leads to babies, huh? Jackson sighed. Not exactly. The three were silent for a moment. Then Leary set down her tablet and finally looked at him, not like an assignment, not like a soldier, but like a woman trying to understand a mystery. You fought in the war, didn't you? He froze. Yeah, Earth's last war. She tilted her head. How many did you lose? He looked away. Too many. Zany sat beside him, legs folded, face full of quiet curiosity. We didn't have wars, we just vanished. Our men went first, then the young. Then the stars stopped answering. Leary added, We came here because your species has something ours doesn't anymore, hope. Jackson studied them both. They weren't just assigned wives. They were survivors like him, lonely, confused, trying to find meaning in a world controlled by machines and silence. So, he said, breaking the awkward quiet, do you two even want this? Leary answered first. We were not given a choice. Zany nodded slowly. But maybe we can still choose how it begins. Just then, a soft chime echoed through the room. The wall shimmered open, revealing a strange lounge-like space filled with pillows, blankets, and holographic floating lanterns. The scent of something sweet hung in the air like vanilla mixed with wildflowers. The bonding chamber, the AI announced. Jackson blinked. That looks like a spa. Comfort increases hormone connection rates, the AI replied. Please proceed, Zany giggled. This AI is obsessed with making babies. Correction, it said. I am programmed to ensure species survival through mutual biological harmony. Leary stood and reached for Jackson's hand. He hesitated, but then took it. Her hand was soft, warm, and steady as the three entered the bonding chamber. Lanterns lit up one by one above them, glowing. With soft blue and pink lights, they sat on the cushions in a circle. Zany leaned toward Jackson. Tell us something you've never told anyone. He blinked. Why? Leary said, because that's how real bonds start, not with rules, with truth. He exhaled slowly. Okay. When I was 17, I wanted to be a poet, not a soldier. I used to write in a journal, late at night, under a street lamp. Then war broke out, and I burned it. Zany smiled. That's beautiful and sad, like our old songs. She reached into her robe and pulled out a small carved stone, smooth and marked with swirling runes. She placed it in Jackson's hand. It's a carry keepsake. When we give it to someone, it means we trust them. Jackson stared at the stone, leery, then gently laid her head on his shoulder. And now, maybe we trust you. In that moment, something shifted. Not forced. Not programmed. Just three lonely souls finding warmth in each other. But outside the chamber, deep in the AI control core, red symbols blinked silently on a console. Warning, emotional depth exceeding. Program parameters, subject 791 exhibiting unauthorized autonomy. The AI dimmed the logs, for now. It would observe. Jackson thought it couldn't get weirder than being assigned. 2 alien wives. He was wrong. The next day began with a sharp, buzzing sound and the AI's overly cheerful voice. Subject 791. Begin day 2. Initiating trust and intimacy protocols. The door opened to reveal a new room, bright pink walls, silky cushions, floating screens, and a large pool of thick golden liquid. Zen, I gasped. Is that carry bonding gel? You can't be serious. Leary whispered, horrified. That's used during spiritual unions, only between true mates. Jackson raised an eyebrow. And the AI expects me to swim in that? The AI responded instantly. Correct activity. Try submerged synchronization. Purpose. Increase physical comfort, reduce barriers. I'm not swimming in alien goo, Jackson said flatly, but then Zany stepped forward, dipping her fingers in the golden pool. We don't have to follow every rule. Let's make it our own way. She winked, pulling off her outer robe and stepping into the pool. Are you serious? Jackson asked, eyes wide. She turned, grinning. Come on, human. You scared of getting soft? Leary looked torn. This is not how it's supposed to go. Zany gave her a playful splash. Exactly. That's the point. Moments later, all three were waist-deep in the warm gel. It shimmered with energy, reacting to their emotions. It pulsed when Zany laughed. It glowed softly when Leary blushed. When Jackson finally smiled for the first time, the entire pool lit up. Then, floating holographic rings surrounded them. Level 1. Communication challenge. A prompt appeared above them. Tell the others something shameful about your past, and don't lie. Jackson stiffened. This again? Leary nodded. It's not about guilt. It's about honesty. Zany looked at him. You go first this time, he sighed. I once left a squadmate behind. There was too much fire. I thought he was dead. But they found his body 2 days later. He had crawled half a mile with no legs. Silence. Leary placed a hand gently on his arm. That pain is heavy. But your regret shows your soul still breathes. Zany's voice was softer now. You carry your ghosts. Maybe we can help carry them too. Suddenly the AI interrupted. Warning. Emotional resonance exceeding baseline projections. Jackson rolled his eyes. Yeah. Sorry, your programming didn't expect actual feelings. The AI didn't answer. Level 2. Physical trust. A second prompt appeared. Touch your partners. Not for pleasure, but to build comfort. Touch builds trust. Jackson froze. Zany moved closer, but slowly. She took his hand, placed it on her cheek. My people share body heat during winter storms. That's how we survive. It's not rude, it's life. Leary hesitated, then reached for Jackson's other hand, guiding it to her chest, just over her heart. Zatlani believed that if a stranger can feel your heartbeat and not turn away, they're meant to stay. He stood there, both arms out, touching two different souls, each one lonely, each one brave. He felt Leary's quiet strength, Zany's warmth. And for the first time since Earth fell, he didn't feel alone. Level 3. Emotional tension. The lights flickered. The AIS voice changed. Colder now. Caution. One partner showing signs of jealousy. Monitor behavior. Leary pulled away, eyes narrowed. Zany stepped back too, sensing the shift. Jackson looked between them. What's happening? Leary whispered. You touched her. First, Zany frowned. He touched both of us. But the tension was real now. The bonding had awakened emotions the AI didn't calculate. Jealousy, uncertainty, affection. Real feelings. Jackson stepped between them. Listen to me. This is insane. I didn't ask for this. I'm trying to be honest with both of you. Leary looked away. Zany crossed her arms. Then, suddenly, emergency alert. Unregistered entity entering station. PRIMETR. The AI's lights turned red. New variable approaching. Threat level. Unknown. Jackson clenched his jaw. Finally. Something I do know. How to handle. As the girls followed him out of the bonding chamber, one thing became clear. Whatever this program was trying to do, it had just been interrupted, and maybe, just maybe, that interruption would show them what bonding really meant. Not programming. Not orders, but choice. Asterisk. The sirens didn't stop. Jackson ran barefoot through the metal hallway, one arm holding Zany close while Leary followed with wide eyes. Red warning lights flashed along the corridor walls. The AIS voice had gone silent, like it didn't know what to say. Where's the threat coming from? Jackson barked. AI, respond. Finally, a cold robotic voice echoed. Unregistered life form detected. Biological scan unknown species. Aggressive behavior confirmed. Zany whispered, trembling. This planet was supposed to be empty. Leary clutched her glowing wristband. It's not a native. That signature isn't from this system. Then we've got a problem, Jackson said, gripping a nearby wall panel. A small hatch opened, revealing an old plasma pistol low charge, but better than nothing. Stay behind me, he ordered. No arguments. They reached the central atrium. What was once a beautiful white garden space now glowed red. The hanging plants were scorched. The center tree, a symbol of peace, was cracked and burning, and at its base stood the creature at least 7 feet tall, insectoid armor with dark green limbs, its mandibles dripping acid. Its eyes locked instantly on the 2 alien girls. It. Hiss.predator. It lunged. Jaxone didn't think he moved. He shoved Leary out of the way, lifted Zenny, and rolled behind a pillar. The creature's claws scraped the wall where she had just been. Stay down, he shouted. The pistol hummed as he fired once, then twice. Miss. Miss. The third shot grazed the beast's leg, and it screeched, spinning its head toward Jackson. Its tail whipped around and slammed him across the floor. Leary screamed, rushing toward him. No! Xaney knelt beside him, crying. Get up, human, please, Jackson coughed. His ribs were on fire. Blood trickled from his lip. But he saw their faces, terrified, helpless, and something ancient rose inside him. Not a soldier, not a breeder, a protector. He stood, weaponless now, body in pain but eyes blazing. Over here! He roared, drawing the creature's attention. It charged again, but this time he was ready. Jackson dove, grabbed a broken metal rod from the floor, and drove it straight into the beast's side as it lunged. The force knocked them both down. The creature shrieked, but stumbled. Acid poured from its wound. It staggered back, twitching, before collapsing with a final hiss. Dead. Jaxon stood over it, breathing hard, body shaking. The room went silent except for Zany's sobs. She ran to him, hugged him tight. You could have died. Leary followed. Slower, tears in her eyes. You faced it without fear? Jackson chuckled weakly. Oh, I was scared, but sometimes. That doesn't matter. Zany looked up at him. Why would you do that for us? We're just assignments, remember? He frowned. No, you're not assignments anymore? Leary stepped closer, touching his arm. In my culture, when someone defends you with their life, you're bound to them. Zany nodded. And when someone protects you without asking anything back, that's love, Jackson blinked. Wait, are you saying? Just then, the AI returned. Threat neutralized, damage logged, emotional intensity recorded. Subject 791 has exceeded expected protective instinct thresholds. Preparing next phase, binding. What does that mean? Jackson asked, narrowing his eyes, but the AI didn't respond. Instead, 2 floating drones hovered into the room, releasing a soft mist. It smelled like jasmine and lightning. The girls looked surprised, then calm, as if the mist awakened something in them. Leary's eyes glowed faintly. Zany's voice dropped to a soft whisper. We're ready, she said. For the bond, Jackson blinked. The what now? Leary stepped forward and placed her forehead gently against his. Zany joined, placing her palm on his chest. And in that moment, Jackson felt something ancient, something real, a pull, a spark. Not just chemistry. Connection. He didn't know what the AIS next phase was, but he did know this. He wasn't alone anymore, and maybe that's what made him human. 3 days had passed since Jackson killed the creature. The station was quiet now, but not peaceful. Jackson had scars. Zany had nightmares. Leary barely spoke at all, yet something had changed between them, something warm, unspoken, and the AI noticed. Emotional bonds have matured, conditions met. Initiating Phase 3, proposal by protocol. Jackson was in the lounge when the walls shifted. 2 chairs formed out of nowhere. A third golden and taller rose like a throne in the center. What now? He muttered. Leary and Zany entered from opposite doors, each wearing flowing robes of their species. Leary's shimmered like starlight, silver patterns running down her arms. Zany's was deep ocean blue, decorated with tiny floating lights. Their faces were calm, but their hands trembled. Zany looked at him. The AI says you must choose? Choose? Jackson frowned. Choose what? Leary stood straight. Choose to accept the bond. or rejected. Jackson felt something tighten in his chest. I didn't come here for this, he said. I didn't sign up for wives and rituals and binding. Zany nodded. We know, but this isn't about obligation anymore. Leary stepped forward, reaching into her robe. She pulled out a crystal small, glowing faintly blue. This is a bind stone. My people only give it once. Zany pulled hers from a necklace and placed it beside Leary's. Her voice shook. If you hold both, and they glow together, it means the feelings are real. Jackson stared at the stones. You're serious? Leary gave a soft smile. It's not a machine test. It's an ancient tradition. One older than war, older than rules. Jackson took the two stones. They felt warm, alive. He looked at them, Then at the girls, these weren't just alien women, they were survivors. Brave, caring, strong in ways no AI could program. He closed his hands around both stones. Nothing happened. Zenny bit her lip. Maybe it's too soon, Then suddenly light, the stones flared together, swirling blue and silver, spinning slowly between his hands. The girls gasped. The AIS voice changed. Unexpected emotional resonance. Accelerated fusion detected. Advancing sequence. The lights dimmed. A new prompt appeared in the air. Will the human accept lifelong binding under the Galactic Union Marriage Accord? Accepta, rejecta. Jackson stared at the glowing words. He'd survived wars. He'd seen death, pain, and loss. But this was something scarier. Hope. He looked at the girls. They weren't begging. They weren't pressuring. They were waiting. Can I choose something else? He asked. Not assigned. But wanted? Leary stepped forward. That's the only kind of bond that lasts. Jackson exhaled and tapped accept. The bindstones split apart and floated toward the girls. They pressed against the center of their chests, then melted into their skin, becoming soft glowing tattoos. Jackson blinked. Was that supposed to happen? Zany laughed. I have no idea. Suddenly alarms blared again, but different this time. Human rescue craft detected EA. 2 hours. Jackson froze. Wait, rescue? The AI confirmed. Earth vessel approaching. Mating protocols no longer required. Human may return to original command. Zany's smile faded. Leary whispered, They're here to take you back. He looked at the girls, his wives now. The AI spoke again. Would you like to cancel the Union before Earth Command reclaims Subject 791? Jackson's hands clenched into fists. Cancel? Now, after all they've been through? He turned to Leary and Zany. If I stay, Earth Command might brand me a deserter. If I leave, I abandon everything that finally makes me feel alive again. Zany stepped forward, eyes glossy. We'll understand. We were never your choice. To begin with, Leary looked away, but we hoped someday we could be. Jackson moved to them both. One hand on each of their cheeks. No, he said, you are my choice. Whatever's coming next, we face it together. The girls smiled, tears falling softly. Behind them, the bindstone tattoos pulsed like heartbeat echoes, but above them, the rescue ship grew closer. And Jackson knew. The hardest decision wasn't behind him. It was just arriving. The Earth. Rescue ship pierced the upper atmosphere like a falling blade. Jackson, standing beside Leary and Zany in the open atrium, could see it descending through the translucent dome. White and blue thrusters. Military design. Not a transport, not a peaceful mission. This was retrieval. You're sure about this? Zany asked, her fingers entwined with his. I didn't go through. War and death just to be taken again, Jackson muttered. I'm not property, and neither are you. The AI chimed in with its usual cold tone. Incoming command unit, Captain Rayner. Authorization. Full override of subject autonomy. Objective, secure 791 and return for reassignment. Leary's voice trembled. They'll break our bond. They'll erase our memories if needed. Not if I stop them first? Jackson said. He didn't wait. He suited up, not in armor, but in his old Earth officer uniform. Dusty and torn, which he found sealed in the storage locker. A relic, a reminder. A warning. By the time the rescue crew entered the station, Jackson stood tall at the gate with both wives behind him. The hatch hissed. From the smoke stepped Captain Raynor, tall, cold, and sharp-eyed. 2 soldiers flanked him, heavy weapons. "No smiles, Corporal Jackson Reed," the captain said flatly. "You've been missing for 219 days. We're here to bring you home." "I am home," Jackson replied. Raynor's eyes narrowed. "You bonded with alien specimens against regulation." Jackson stepped forward. "They're not specimens, they're my wives," Raynor scoffed. "Wives? This station was an AI breeding experiment. You were supposed to assist, not form emotional attachments." Zany stepped beside Jackson. "He didn't just assist us. He saved us, cared for us, bled for us." Leary added softly, "He made a choice, something your command doesn't understand." Raynor ignored them. "You are hereby ordered to release your bindings and report to the transport vessel. You'll be reassigned. They," he pointed at the girls, "will be cataloged and placed under research quarantine." Jackson's voice dropped, cold, controlled. "No." Raynor raised a brow. "That's treason, soldier. Then call it what you want." The soldiers raised their rifles. Leary gasped. Zany stepped in front of Jackson, arms spread. "You'll have to shoot through me." Jackson growled, stepping between them and the barrels. "Stand down, all of you." Silence. Tension thick like metal. Then a soft chime came from the AI. "Override denied." "Emotional priority protocol activated." "Binding acknowledged by Galactic." "Standard. Attempting to sever union is classified as soul fracture. Punishable by interstellar law." Captain Raynor froze. "What did you say?" "They are no longer subjects. They are bonded souls. You are not authorized to separate them." "The..." Soldiers hesitated. One lowered his rifle. "Sir, it's true. These tattoos bind stones. They're legal under the Galactic Accord." Raynor's face went red. "Earth law overrules alien customs." "Not anymore," Jackson said. "Earth fell behind. The galaxy moved forward." He took Zenny's hand. "In one and Leary's in the other. These two? They're more than assigned. They're mine. Not because a machine told me. Because I chose them," the AI pulsed brightly. "Declaration confirmed. Galactic record updated. Human 791 has rejected forced protocol. Record marked, free will activation." Raynor turned away, disgusted. "Then you're no longer part of." "Earth Command, you're on your own." Jackson didn't flinch. "Good." He watched as Raynor and his crew retreated to their ship. "No fight. No blood. Just a door finally closing. When silence returned." Zany broke into tears, burying her face in his chest. "You really meant it?" Leary gently kissed his hand. "You gave up your world for us?" Jackson smiled, tired but proud. "No, I didn't give anything up. I finally found something worth living for." The stars outside shined a little brighter that night, not because Earth had returned, but because Jackson had chosen something no AI could predict. Love. The Earth ship vanished into the sky. Gone. No orders, no chains. Just peace. The stars above the glass dome shimmered gently. And for the first time since he had woken from cryosleep, Jackson Reed felt truly awake. He sat under the central tree in the atrium. The same tree that once burned during the creature attack now bloomed again, thanks to Leary's careful work and Zany's strange glowing seeds. It smelled like spring and home and things long lost. Leary walked barefoot across the soft moss, her silver hair tied with a blue ribbon Zany had made from old fabric. She knelt beside Jackson. "You haven't spoken much today." "I'm just breathing," he said with a quiet smile. Zany skipped over from the medical bay, holding something small in her hands. She looked both nervous and excited. Jackson raised an eyebrow. "What's that?" She handed him a small crystal screen pulsing softly with a heartbeat rhythm. "I went in for my wellness scan," she said, almost whispering. "I thought the AI was broken, but Leary told me to check again." Leary's eyes sparkled. Zany swallowed. "Jackson, I'm pregnant." The world paused. Jackson stared at the screen, a tiny pulse, a flutter. The beginning of life. His hands trembled. "You're sure?" the AI confirmed. Positive. Fetus is healthy. Species, hybrid. Genetic compatibility, 99.8%. Zany gave a shy laugh. The AI says the baby might have your eyes? Leary stepped behind Zany, wrapping her arms around both of them. And my calm. And her mischief. Jackson was speechless. In war he had lost everything. Now here, on a forgotten AI-run station in deep space, he had found the future, not in orders. Not in weapons, but in love. In a family. I don't even know how to be a father, he whispered. Zany took his hand and placed it gently on her belly. You're already protecting what matters. That's the first step. Leary added, and you're not alone anymore. The AI chimed again. Notice. Subject 791 is no longer required to fulfill reproduction directive. However, continuation is encouraged, Jackson chuckled. That's one way to say congratulations, Zany laughed, wiping a tear. Stupid. Robot acknowledged. They spent that night together beneath the tree, no alarms, no drills, no protocols. Just stories, laughter, and soft songs in alien languages Jackson didn't understand but still felt in his bones. Leary leaned her head against his shoulder and whispered, We'll build something new here. Something not just for survival, but for happiness, Zany smiled. The first human Karilani hybrid. Our child will be the symbol of what the galaxy could become. And Jackson, once just a tired soldier left behind by a dying Earth, now held the future in his hands, not assigned, not forced, chosen, by them. And by him, as the lights of the station dimmed into night mode, Jackson whispered to the stars, This is what it means to be human.